Welcome everyone back to the channel. I am your host here on the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel. I am Zach, and welcome back to another TV review. It's a podcast, and as promised at the beginning of the month, I am doing my Walking Dead reviews. I am starting the very first season, and I am working my way all the way to, well, I'm going to try to catch up. That's a lot of seasons. But I do think the way The Walking Dead is set up now, considering we're going to get a few new episodes sometime next year, I will should be able to catch up by the beginning of the 11th season. See, 16 episodes. Yeah, maybe by a year from now, I might be able to actually catch up with this series. So that's the hope, at least. We're gonna see, right? We're gonna see. Notice my volume here is really high. So, yes, The Walking Dead. I have been on again, off again with this series, and so going back and being able to, rewatch it has actually been quite nice. I've seen this first episode many times. I've seen this first season a lot of times. And it's good to go back again and actually get to talk about it this time. Sorry guys, I'm a little distracted. I actually am getting texted by Susie as I'm recording this. So I know this series actually debuted on Halloween Day, and here we are, 2 days away from Halloween, talking about this. And so I felt it was appropriate to start now. I considered doing it earlier in the month, but I was like, you know what? I can't do it on Halloween, but I'll try to get it as close as possible to Halloween. So being able to go back, rewatch it with this, trying to look at a different perspective than I used to, it's been kind of nice. It's been good. I've enjoyed it. I really do love this show. But like I said, it's been on again, off again. And it's been nice. It really has been. So, yeah, starting back at season 1, episode 1. Episode 1 being, I'm an idiot's what I am. But yeah, episode 1, man, it's really good at just establishing the world. Like from the opening shot, you get to see, this guy who we find out is Rick, the main character throughout the series up till about season 9. Just kind of walking, see him pull up in his police vehicle, and he's walking around and he's looking for gas, but he comes up to a gas station. You see him go through all these different cars, and there's no gas. So seeing the way the producers and the showrunner set up the show, I believe it was Robert Kirkman was a part of the show at this time. I don't remember who the showrunner was for the first few seasons. I apologize. I'll have that information next time. But the way they established this world out of this first scene was really good. He gets, he's looking for gas and it's not there. When he's wading through the cars, he comes across his first walker. The first walker we see as characters. And it's sad because he thinks it's a little girl. Of course, she turns around and it's clearly not. She starts coming at him. You can tell he doesn't want to do it, but he shoots her. And that's when we get the iconic score for The Walking Dead. I love that score. I still listen to it. Like, I have it saved in my playlist, and I listen to it occasionally because it's an iconic score. Like, one of the most iconic scores, honestly, probably in television history. And I'm sure you could probably come up with other ones. But it's definitely one of those. And the opening with just I loved it. It's awesome. But then when it picks back up, we're back before everything happened. And, of course, Rick is played by Andrew Lincoln. And we see Rick and Shane, who is played by Jon Bernthal. They're talking about Shane's girlfriend and, turning off the light switches, her daddy and how he, has to give the, Shane's sermon and everything. It's funny to hear it. And, of course, they also talk about, Rick and Lori's issues, how things just really aren't great for them. But then they get a call over the, and just listening to those two banter and the way they are able to call it back in season 9 is really awesome. But listening to those two go back and forth, you really feel like they're really friends who just happen to work together. Of course, they're both police officers. But then they get a phone call or a call over the scanner for, a police chase that's going on. So they take off and they set up, road spikes to try to stop it. And the car ends up flipping. Now, two guys come out shooting. Rick gets hit in the vest, but then they shoot those guys down, and they don't notice a third one. Rick's talking to Shane like, hey, don't tell Lori about this, and he gets shot in the side, so he starts to bleed out. They kill the other guy, and Rick basically passes out. And that's where we pick up with the apocalypse essentially going on. And Rick is, kind of getting these flashes of Shane talking to him. It's very hazy, but Shane's talking to him about everyone missing him and hoping he gets back soon, bringing him some flowers. And then Rick just starts talking. That's a really nice vase. Is that from such and such's? And he realizes there's no one there. And the flowers are dead. So then we get him inside the hospital, and he comes out of the room after drinking some water. And you can see the hospital. It's a disaster in there. And Rick's starting to notice things. And then we get one of the iconic shots of, seeing the bullet holes in the wall with blood. And he sees a dead body. It looks like it's been, chewed down to almost the bone. And then the door says, don't open. Dead inside. And you start seeing the door push open. Slowly trying to push itself open. And so he escapes. He's going down these dark stairs. He can't see. He's using matches. And he finally gets to an exit sign. So he's out of the door. And it's so bright. And then he just sees the fullness of everything going on, where he sees the bodies of all these people who have been killed and they're wrapped up. And you're just kind of like, golly, that's actually some really intense stuff. And he gets out of the hospital area, and then he starts to see the actual full-on chaos of what's going on. He sees all these abandoned vehicles, like there was like the military had set up, but there's no one there now. He comes across one of his first walkers, just she's like halfway, decapitated, like half her body's gone. And he gets on a bike, and he gets home to find Lori and Carl aren't there, so he's freaking out about that. And you see him, then he just kind of sits outside, and he sees someone walking, and he thinks it's a person, but then you see someone come up from behind him and hit him in the head with a shovel. And you see that it's this father and this son, who turns out to be Morgan and his son, Jawiin. Morgan being played by Lenny James. God, terrific actor, by the way. And he's like, did he say something? I thought he said something. He's like, I got him. So he's like, mister, he's trying to talk to him. What's that wound from? And Rick passes out. So when Rick wakes up, Morgan's cleaned him up. He said, it was pretty bad. It needed to be cleaned. And Morgan's, is like, what's that wound from? I need to know what the wound's from. Were you bit? He's like, bit? He's like, yeah, bit, scratched, anything. He's like, no, it was a gunshot. And he's just like, you could tell Morgan's very hesitant to even talk to him and trust him. But he shows him knife, you try anything, I'll kill you with it. Straight up. And so he lets Rick, go. Rick comes downstairs, and Morgan's explaining to him, he's like, do you even know what's going on about all the dead people? He's like, yeah, I saw a bunch of, no, not the ones they got, but the ones they didn't. And you could just tell Rick's like, oh my God, this is really happening. And Morgan's explaining to him about the fever and, and everything. And then they hear a car alarm go off. So Rick's going, no, they'll see the light. It'll draw them in. We just got to wait it out. And, this is after Rick is talking to him. And he's like, hey, I'm a cop, sheriff's deputy. And then you finally see this one in particular, Walker, who you could see Dwayne reacts to really bad. And he explains to him that that's my wife. She died in the room over there. Her temperature, there's nothing I could have done. I should have put her down, but I couldn't do it. So they exit out the next day and they kill a Walker. And they go to Rick's house and he says, I know they're alive. He's like, it's no pictures on the walls, no photo albums. He says, I know they're alive. They packed up. So they go to the police station where they actually get to take a shower, which it's like, you have no idea how long probably, Morgan and his son have gone without one. And Rick's, he's probably just been laying in that hospital bed since all this started. So he's not had one. So they're showering. Then they collect a bunch of weapons and ammos. They talked about earlier about a quarantine or a base or something being in Atlanta. So Rick is heading there. They're going to stay behind. He's going to, Morgan's going to get shirt up on shooting. He's going to teach his son. And then he said he'll join them. And so when they split up, we see Rick, going back to the park where he saw that first Walker. And he puts her out. He takes her out. He shoots her. And you get this really emotional scene. This is why Lenny James is so freaking fantastic. And I really wish he was on the show after this point. Quicker than he was. Spoilers. And there are spoilers in these reviews. Because some of these episodes are 11 seasons old. So, come on. But anyways, he has this emotional scene where he goes upstairs with one of the guns. And he sets up like a makeshift tripod with using a chair. And he's shooting walkers. And he finally sees this wife, and he knows he needs to take her out so he can finally end it. But gosh, he can't. And sadly, that's where we leave off with Morgan. The rest of the episode follows up. But just seeing the way he reacts and seeing how his son downstairs when he hears the gunshots, and he's like, just stay down there. Don't come up here. Is just, it's really, really powerful stuff when you watch it. It's actually really emotional. And you get connected with Morgan actually really quick from that first episode. But so we see Rick driving and he's on the CB and he's trying to contact somebody and he's leaving, hey, I'm heading this way, heading into Atlanta, and you see a CB go off next to a camper. And that's the first time we get to see Dale and Amy. And we finally see little Carl. And we see Lori and we see Shane out there. And they're trying to contact him, but they can't get a hold of him. So they're like, oh, well, that's over. And she's like, we should put up signs. And they're talking about warning people. He's like, yeah, well, we ain't got time. It's basically not a problem. She storms off. Shane goes to talk to her. And you can see they've been at this for a while, just trying to survive. But then we learn that, well, Mrs. Grimes and Mr. Shane are kind of having a little bit of a thing. So when we get our first glimpse of it, and you're like, oh, okay then. I see. This is where we're going with this. All right. So we finally fast forward to where the episode started, where Rick is, he's still looking for a vehicle. He couldn't find gas, which is funny because all them cars, you need to tell me none of them had gas in them, that he couldn't siphon some gas? Shit. But he comes across a horse. So he tames the horse and he decides to ride the horse. And that's when we get the iconic shot of Rick going down the interstate with cars on both sides. And he is on that horse with that bag of weapons riding into Atlanta. It is a beautifully done shot. And it was the poster for the season, which I also used here on the video if you guys didn't notice. But so he's into the city and he's driving around. He's riding around on the horse and he comes across a few walkers. But then he hears a chopper and sees it in the glass of a building. and he immediately starts chasing it. Now, I don't think they ever finished where this chopper came from. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'll see it in a later episode. Maybe it's something they cover in season 10. I don't know. Maybe in season 9. Maybe. But he runs into hordes, a couple hordes of different of walkers. And he's being followed by them. And he's trying to escape, but he can't. So they all start grabbing at him. They pull him and the horse down. They immediately start jumping on the horse. And he's shooting a few, getting away from him. He gets under a tank. He kills some, and he's like, I think I'm done. And then he pulls the gun. And he gets ready to shoot himself. And he notices the hole, so he immediately climbs in and he shuts that. There's another walker in there. And if you've never been in a tank, it's straight metal, and it's hard to talk in there without hurting your ears anyways. And he shoots a freaking gun to kill this walker. And of course it makes, everything sounds piercing. It's hard for him to hear and even to function at that moment. And he notices there's a hole. He notices the tank is open, so he climbs up. And he notices his bag of weapons laying on the ground, and all of a sudden walkers try getting to him there, so he has to shut that. He's stuck in there, and you can see he's just like, damn, what am I supposed to do? And then you hear some radio static, and hear someone saying, hey, are you there? Hey, dumbass. He says, are you cozy in there? And Rick's just looking, so music starts playing. You get an overhead shot of the walkers, eating the horse, and then them climbing on the tank, and some of them dropping off to go to the horse. And it just pans out, and that's where the episode ends. For a premiere of a show, this was definitely one of the better ones. Now, first season's only 6 episodes long, so these were longer episodes. They were like an hour and a half long for each episode. But damn was it good. It was a fantastic first episode, and a lot of people think the second episode is better, and in all honesty, yeah, it is probably a better episode, but we'll talk about it next week. So, yeah, I'd like to hear in the comments below what you guys thought. What was your impressions of this show when you first watched it? I loved it, and I'm excited to keep going with this. I'll get to the seasons that I don't like, I'm sure, but for now, Season 1, man, I'm excited. I'm super excited. So, y'all, like I said, y'all let me know. What do you think? What do you think of Morgan? What do you think of Rick? As it pertained to these first episodes. Y'all let me know. Like I said, down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't already, join this channel. Y'all have a great day. Happy early Halloween. I will see you all for my best of the best countdown tomorrow. Probably my Supernatural review as well. And then Saturday will be my final Halloween Countdown series episode. It is a surprise. And my Halloween special for 2020. It should be a fun little video. I think you all will enjoy. It's just a fun little thing. But y'all stay safe. Y'all stay healthy and happy. And remember, join the nation. I'll see you guys later.